Good morning. Sorry for the delay. I've been away this morning, literally just got back and I'm looking at the charts for the very first time. So a little bit unprepared. So not a great way to start trading when you're coming in a bit unprepared, but normally I start looking at charts about an hour earlier. So today is the 18th of January 2024 and I'm going to go through my pre-market plan, my pre-market levels and plan for today. We had news at 8:30, we'll just take a look at that in a second, and we had jobless claims, building permits, and we've got news today, nothing major, oil at 11, and we've got some Fed speakers later as well, so just keep an eye out at 11:30 and just after 12, so that may move the market. So looking at the charts for the very first time today. Okay, that's interesting, we've broken the structure of this trend line we drew yesterday. Get rid of that. So yesterday we broke down, kind of hit a few levels. We were watching that level there, this level here, that level down here. So the levels still working pretty well. And today we come back up in quite bullish today. So let's look for some levels. So we've got like 4800 area, psychological number, and an area right in the middle here, so between 4800, probably the level we had yesterday, which is that pivot. Probably the better level will be up here in that area of supply, which is 4813. The reason I like this area from yesterday is because we had a pivot. This area we had tops of candles there, tops of candles there, and we had this area bottoms of candles, tops of candles again here, tops of candles and bottoms. So that's a significant area. We can get up into that one. So 4800, this is our psychological number as well. Lots of volume in this area as well, on this volume control over here. But the point of control is all the way up at 4813 area. And that's probably why I prefer to see us push up to this area first. 4816 to 4815 for a rejection. So if I start babbling, it's because I'm just analysing the chart and picking up some levels. Normally I'll have my levels in place before I do the live video, but I don't think much has really changed from yesterday. We've got this new level here, area of demand. You can probably draw that in now. This area here is an area to watch for. If we come back down to that area, I'll keep that clear for now, and then let's just see what happens if we go that. No, it doesn't line up with anything, so we've broken this little downtrend now, and we're now back in, probably looks like we're putting in a bit of an uptrend. And if you look carefully, we've got a recognised pattern. If you can see this, we've got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder in the pre-market, the neckline you could probably say was about here. So potentially we can look for the pullback to this area, or maybe to this level we've got here at 47.75, 47.76 for a continuation of this trend up. That's an area to watch as well. We're still below the hourly 200 moving average, which is this line here, but we are above the 50 moving average, so potentially change a trend on this hourly. So we want in this downtrend for long. Let's take a look at the daily before we do anything. So this area is pretty important. We came in, let's just tag it with a straight line instead. Look at that. So that area was on potential watch yesterday. It came in. That's why we had that level there. Touched it and bounced from it. So that's a significant area. Both that area and this area, both significant. You know, if we were to close below there, then we would be looking to bounce off of that area, and if we break that area, then we can confirm a daily change of trend. But we came down, we bounced off that area there, that area of demand, pushed through it there. Sorry, I can start again. So this is a daily chart. So we came in, we bounced off of that area there, couldn't quite settle down for this pivot, and potentially putting in a bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. That's what we're seeing, with the all-time high area as the neckline. So something to keep an eye on. It is a lower high as well, just note that. So, but pretty much a double top. Back to the hourly again then. So just to confirm levels for today, I'm going to be watching this area of confluence at 48.0150 for a rejection, higher risk rejection, but with the change of trend and this head and shoulders pattern, potentially I'll be waiting for the break and retest long. I want to try and find a long maybe before that area if I can. I quite like the break of this level which we've done. We haven't quite come back to that area yet, and I'm hoping that the break of this area, the break of structure, I was really hoping it come all the way back a bit and then see the bounce. So if it does come back a bit more, I might be interested in going long, maybe off of that level at 47, 76, 47, 75 area, but potentially all the way down at 47, 70, which is where we've got that top of the structure. But we can probably take this away now. I'll leave it there as a reference, but we don't really want to pay attention to this channel going down now. And that's it. And obviously if we do pull right back, then we can continue to watch bounces at 47.60 and then 47.45 area as well. Same areas we were watching yesterday, but bear in mind we've been there once, so the second time may not be as effective. The reason I liked 47.60 yesterday, I'm just zooming out now, is because we had this pivot here, and you can see we came close to that area. In fact, let's move that down. That pivot there, wasn't it? So we came in, we bounced off of it there. There you go. We bounced there, but also that same area is an area of interest because we've got high volume, we've got bottoms of candles, tops of candles, bottoms of candles, tops, bottoms there, bottoms here, again bottoms there as well. So an area of confluence, so that's why the area I was watching that for a bounce. And we got the bounce yesterday, and then we saw it come down, hit the next level, which is that area which I was really waiting for, and that's where I went long yesterday. That was my entry right on that area, and that was bottoms of candles, bottoms of candles, bottoms of candles, tops of candles. So what was the floor became the ceiling, and now the ceiling became the floor, but it's still the floor now. So we broke down and we come back. We haven't quite retested the area, so I do quite like 47.70, 47.60 for another retest long if we get back down there. But we've done it once, and potentially second time won't be as effective. And then areas for reject, high risk reject at 4800, 4801, 50, and then we've got this area here. We've got high volume, congested volume, and we've got a pivot as well. So 4813 for a rejection if we get up to there. And then we can watch also 4821 and the all-time highs, this area here for rejection. So there's a few levels going up, but the area I'm really watching for today, it would be 4813.50 for a rejection. So that's what I want to watch, and that's only because we've got this big reaction to that area last time, and we haven't come back up to retest it yet. So we'll see what happens this time round. And that's it really, not anything amazing to look at. Yeah, I can't really see anything more obvious. So obviously if we can break the pre-market, we can look for either a rejection, break and retest short, or a break and retest long. So they're always on the cards. Bearing in mind we are going long into this heavy area of resistance now at 4813, so just be a bit wary. Let's look at SPY. Okay, so we've got this area here on watch, all-time high we've not got to yet, 47, 470, 479.98. This is the all-time high area, and unfinished business. Everyone else has hit the all-time highs, Nasdaq, Qs, MES, but the only one's not hit it was SPY at the moment. So we could potentially see a bit of unfinished business coming up into that area, and then we can look for a rejection down So 480 basically, looking for a rejection if we get there. But potentially closer targets, we could watch this area here for a rejection, 476.10 through to 477, this entire area. And that's an area of supply. We had a big reaction to it here. We came back up, we retested that area as well, and we had this big reaction down. And then we kind of been hovering around this area for a few days back in early January, and we retested it again last week, and now might be come back up to retest it again. So that's why I like 476.10 to 477, that 90-cent area there for a rejection. Potentially, if we want to find another area for a reject, oh look, it's already triggered. Okay, so ignore that, it's not on the table now. I was going to say this area equivalent to tops of candles, bottoms of candles, tops and bottoms there, bit of consolidation, but we've already touched that in the pre-market. But we'll keep an eye on it. 475.12 for a rejection, that area. We've been there once, so the second time will never be as a big strong move, and it wasn't a big strong move down anyway. So probably look for the pre-market break and retest long at that level. So that's the area to watch. 475 break and retest long, and then obviously we can go for the double bottom bounce down here, or if we see further weakness, we've got this area of demand down at 467 to 468. So 470 is on watch for a bounce. 475 is on watch for a break and retest long, and then we've got a reject area up at 477 area down to 476. That's it for SPY. Looking at Qs, we got a rejection area at 413. Put that in there, and if we do get it, we've got a defined stop loss just above there. That's all-time highs. Other than that, it's rejecting the area I would have been looking at. This area here, and that's purely trying to find the average area about there, yeah. And we come into that reject, so that must be the news at 8:30, course the red candle. So we've got a top in tail, above average volume for pre-market as well. Potentially watching for this. If you look at this on the 5-minute, it's probably a head and shoulders pattern. Not a really good one. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder coming in now. But yeah. Currently where it is a rejection point. If it breaks that, then the break and retest off of the pre-market high at 411.63, break and retest into the all-time high. That would be a first target, 413. That's it, and obviously got bounces down here. Get rid of that one now. I think that's off the card. I like this bounce, double bottom from yesterday's low around this area, and then you've got, unlike MES where it came in and touched that area, this is a bit stronger. So we've got 399.38 through to 400 for a bounce. That's the only real area to watch. That area there, higher risk bounce at 403, and then we've got 394.20 for a bigger bounce, 394 to 395 this area. Nasdaq. Same levels as yesterday really. We've got a rejection up at 17,104 into this area of supply. Exactly where that area is, I need to look deeper, so I would probably say it's about there to there. What I'm looking for is a change of colour before the big reaction down. So that's our area, and we've got the level at 17,104 in the middle. So watch that area for a rejection, maybe a poke through rejection, top and tail, and then for a bounce, this area here. You You can potentially see an inverse head and shoulders playing out, with the neckline happens to be this area supply, so keep an eye on that. If we do have strong buy-in when we open, I want to watch it come up, break the highs, come back down, retest for continuation as well. That's another play. And we're currently at pre-market highs or close to it already. But I quite like the bounce off the, so this is my play on Nasdaq today. 200 moving average, the upward trading 200 moving average, bounce off of 16,698, 16,700 for a bounce. Higher risk rejection of 17,109, or wait for the break and retest, continuation of the uptrend. Bear in mind we are still in a daily and weekly uptrend on all these. So daily uptrends looking strong, weekly uptrends looking strong. In fact, we couldn't even test the 50 moving average on the daily, but we did come in and retest that pivot there quite nicely. So that's it really for Nasdaq. Trend continuation really, we've got to watch for that. Break and retest of pre-market high is another level to watch for that area. It happens to be this area consolidation. If we break out, come back, I think that would be a good trade. So that's one which I probably want to get in on. 17,045 long. If it breaks and comes back. Now we're looking at oil. Still doing the same, playing that range. Maybe as a scalp, if it comes back down to these areas for a buy, 70.50, and then look to sell it as it breaks up into these areas, 73.25, 73.50. Nothing at the moment. We want to see it break out of that range. It's just sitting in this range. Well, it's mainly that range there. And what we want to do, we want it to either break out of here, come back down, retest, and continue to trend up. This looks like an area of accumulation. So it's accumulating, a false breakout, a test, accumulating, and then accumulating, looking for it to come back up, come back in like that. Maybe see some volume on the push out. So keep an eye on this. This potentially could be starting to show a change of trend, from a down to an uptrend. But no plays on this for me unless we get down to these areas. So a bounce at 69 through to 68 really, and then gold. Okay, we've broken, and look at that, this is a play right now. The break and retest, we talked about this. It's broken that pivot, it's got broken down, it's come back in, and now it's retesting. So this is a potential short. We're below the 50, we're below the 200. Ideally we want the 50 to come and join up with it, and then look for the short below that flag. But potentially we're coming right into that area now. So let's see how that plays out. If this 50 moving average can catch up, then we've had, and it looks a bit like that, then potentially we can look for the short up here, higher risk, or we can look for the short as we break down through that area there. That's a higher probability, but this is a decent bear flag setting up on gold right now. So one to keep an eye on. And you can see we've already come back in, we've retested that pivot and rejected it, and we put in a big red bar in the pre-market. So watch that one. M2K. Yesterday we broke the structure of this. Come down, came up, we waited a bit, and now we've broken. So if I was to find a rejection point, it would have been there already, which we rejected based on that pivot there. Probably that pivot here as well. If we can close over 1943, 1940, come back, retest, go long, and then with a target into the 200 moving average and 1955. That's a potential play for today. And the rejection maybe the rejection, the double top up here for rejection back down, but it will be the second touch of that area. Yeah, the break and retest is what I'd consider. We're still in a downtrend as well. We haven't confirmed an uptrend yet. The higher time frame, daily's on a daily downtrend as well. We come into the 50 and the 200, so keep an eye on the daily. If we see a change of trend, this could be even that bottom tail candle was on relatively below average volume, and then ending volume potentially up there. It doesn't, potential ending volume there with a bit more selling off, a bit of mopping up any of the rest of the orders down here. Potentially it's turning around, but that bottom tail candle is on below average for what you expect to see. You want to see high volume but it's lower volume than the last few days selling off. Keep an eye on that for a break above that area long. That might be a change of trend on the Russell. And then finally the Dow Jones. Got 4 minutes, I'm finishing right now. Well, this is interesting. Left shoulder, potentially a head, maybe a right shoulder, maybe this is the right shoulder. Watch how this plays out. Neckline, you could use that as a neckline. All this area, not very well defined, but keep an eye on this one for potential change of trend. But we have got this big gap to fill, and we poked through, couldn't quite hold, couldn't close below it, but maybe we've done it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Will it happen a 5th time and finally break through? We'll see. Not much volume there as well, so when we break through we'll probably see it move down and at least close this gap down to 3,700. So keep an eye on that. Still in a downtrend, is not confirming any bullish action yet, but potentially that could be a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. But while we're below the 50, it's still a short. So if we were to find a trade, maybe if it comes back up into the 50, if we come back up into the 50 moving average, and then look for an entry for the short down, that's possible. Or if we break the 50 and we close above it and above that period, we can look for a long maybe. So we get above that area, break, long. So watch that area. That's it. Quick look at MES and ES, see where we are in the last few minutes. Okay, so it's putting a big top and tail candle on volume as well. It's pre-market volume. Compare that volume candle with that pre-market. It's about, that's the 8:30 data candle from yesterday. But if you look at the other pre-market candles, all quite low. So this is relatively high for the pre-market. So I'm not comparing this candle to regular market because that's what you get in regular. But if you compare that to the pre-market, that will kind of give you an indication of whether it's above or below average. And that's above average, so potentially showing weakness into an area, into the 200 moving average. Quite a big lot of volume over here as well if you look at the volume profile tool. And we've got top and tail as well. So let's see what the market brings. Market opens in 1 minute. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.